What's up, you guys? Happy Sunday. Welcome to Brunch with DESB, your favorite dysfunctional Sunday podcast. I'm really excited to be here, and this is actually the second time I am recording this intro because you'll never believe what I did. I recorded a full intro thinking that it was Mother's Day this Sunday. I was pre-recording for thinking it was Mother's Day. So that intro is going to be in next week's podcast because let me tell you, I was falling out of my chair. I was laughing so hard. And then I got halfway through the episode and literally I was like, wait, it's not Mother's Day. Like for real, I was almost 30 minutes in. I realized it was not Mother's Day. It's a Sunday in the neighborhood of DESB. We have quite a few topics to talk about today, and I will already kind of give you a little slight trigger warning in one of our topics. I will also make sure that I timestamp it below, so if you want to forego it, you can. We will be talking about unaliving. We will be talking about death, but I am talking about these things with a few warnings and things that you guys need to be looking for and just some topics and tips to ensure that some of these things won't happen to you or your family or what to look out for in a health emergency situation and things like that. Okay. So I just want to give you a little precursor here. Okay. We're here to have a great day, but I will say the first 15 minutes are really depressing. Okay. But I'm glad to have you here. Thank you guys for the love on last week's episode, especially just talking about like the whole dysmorphia thing. I will tell you guys, I felt so hot the past couple of days. And isn't that funny how we can have a terrible like body mindset day and then like the next day we're like, I'm so hot. Like, am I okay? All right. Thank you for being here and thank you for leaving comments on the Spotify. It was actually really fun to read through the few that were left. And same with YouTube. Thanks for meeting me there as well. You know, it can be really hard to like edit, record, and upload all of this shit all the time. And it can be, sometimes it's like, why am I still doing this? Okay. But seeing your guys' comments, getting your guys' DMs too. I saw so many of you guys DM me. I didn't get to reply to all of them. So if I left you on red, like, I apologize, but just like know I saw it and it meant the world to me. It was nice to see so many of you guys who have been with me since the beginning or even just as of late and love the podcast even for what it is. So hope you're having a beautiful, blessed Sunday. All right. Speaking of blessed, isn't it funny how in society we tend to use those type of words, right? Oh, I'm so blessed. Oh, thank God. You know, oh, Lord willing that we make it to tomorrow, you know, whatever. What do you do? What do you do when you're like not really believing in God? Asking for a friend. What are we saying? What are we saying? Because whenever I say, like, because a lot of times, even last episode, I caught myself, I said, oh yeah, well, like, God willing, I make it to tomorrow, right? What if we don't believe that God is controlling that? Like what do we say? Universe willing. Oh, thank universe. Like it is so much easier to say like, thank God, right? Even if you don't believe in him. And listen, I am not an atheist. Okay. I'm spiritual. I just don't know what I am right now. And that is really hard to say because I'm sure if half my family heard that, they would keel over and want to take me to church. That's not where I want to be right now, honestly. I've just been grappling with a lot of different emotions about church and religion and all these things above and beyond the past couple of years, but especially even in the past year, you know, because I've reintroduced maybe wanting to go to church and then it's like something happens that just reminds me why I don't want to go, you know, like, or yeah, like I do not F with that. So yeah, if you guys have any synonymous words that we could use, like let's make something up. Like, what are we going to say? Like, think goose. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a G word. Think guitar. It like the G really does roll off so well. Like, thank God, you know, I get it. So or maybe we just say like, thank pod. They're like, which podcast? You're like, Joe Rogan. No, I'm just kidding. Brunch with DESB. Thank pod. I'm going to start saying that. And then I'm going to say pod willing. Because it's like, yeah, the podcasts that I'm learning from, like, if they will allow me, I don't know. We need to figure something out because I can't keep saying that. Okay. Like I can't, I'm even going to start, I think, rewriting the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance, you know, one nation under pod, specifically under Brunch with DESB, the podcast. So yeah, I'm struggling. Okay, it's an internal battle. I'm like, am I Buddhist? Am I more Jewish? I don't even know a lot of other religions, I'm going to be honest. But like, am I something else? Is it simply just Christianity is not for me? I don't know. Okay, this is already a very heavy episode, and we are only a couple minutes in. So okay, let's go ahead and go to my notes. Let's see if I have anything written down here. Not my grocery list. Oh, top of fucking mind, top of list. I have told you guys before, I love women. Okay. And I'm sure you listening, you love women, right? We can all, raise our flags and wave, I love women, 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 women. However, I've also been very honest about the fact that like, I'm also not a girl's girl, not everything we do should be supported, right? Like sometimes girls against girl crime exists, right? Like sometimes you're a bitch and I don't like you. Sometimes I might be a bitch and you don't like me. That's fine, right? I don't think we need to just be like, oh, all girls should like exist and love each other. Like probably not, it's just, it's also natural. Okay. So I don't like to sit here and be like, oh, I support women. I support all women because sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just fucking don't. Okay. And I love to see women succeed though, when they're like entrepreneurs and they're fucking vibing and they're killing it. You know who I don't support? I don't support the company Poppy because Poppy tastes like fucking shit. All right. And I've said this. I mean, you can track me back a year or two ago. I have said this multiple times in podcasts. I actually tried to drink a Poppy on a podcast. Poppy, drinking the Poppy on the Poppy podcast while popping my pussy. Period. I tried. Oh, wait. Drinking a Poppy while popping up my podcast and popping my pussy, period. All right, I tried. I about spit it out. I about threw up. There's literally a clip. I almost threw up over a Poppy, okay? Where's my Ollie? Ollie's right here. Trusty steed. I'm a Ollie Pop girl, okay? I'm not a Poppy. With that being said, I hate to say I don't support a woman-owned business. Poppy just, I believe, recently sold to Pepsi couple months ago, maybe a month ago now, a couple weeks ago. Good for them. Good for her. Woman founded. Now multi-millionaire. Go off. Okay. But I'm sorry. Like I don't support you. I don't support your company. I think your company sucks. I think your flavors fucking suck. Okay. I'm sorry. Cranberry. I think it was called cranberry pop. I don't know. The only good flavor. I could drink that 100%. It's like a Christmas edition. That one was fire. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. That's it. Ollie Pop has rung superior time and time and time again. I'm currently drinking a cream soda, and I just recently had the orange cream, which kind of tastes like the orange dreamsicle, like the creamsicles. Oh my god! By the way, one of my favorite like ice creams. And yeah, so like that's the tea. That honestly, that's literally what I wrote down. I had a epiphany the other night. I was watching a TikTok and the owner of Poppy was in it. And like, she's so cute. She's adorable. Like, again, this has nothing to do with her as a woman. It has to do with her company that I think sucks. But she was like cute. And I was like, damn, this girl is like so famous now. Or not even famous. I'm sorry, like rich. And I thought of her and I'm like, but I don't support you. Like I support you without supporting you. You are the business. I don't support your business. Okay. Next thing I thought about today as well, was just about the state of the world that we're in, right? I feel like we're seeing a lot of sad things. And it wasn't until, my frontal lobe developed at 25 that I realized, and this is trigger warning, this is kind of a heavy topic. It wasn't until I was 25 that I realized that I could die. Okay, it sounds crazy, right? You're like, what do you mean? But like, I think in our younger years of life, the only idea that we have of life is that we live until we grow old and we die. And it's not until you're in your mid, I would argue, to late 20s, you start to see people around you getting sick, having health compromises, being in just like accidents, right? In our community where I live has been struck with that this week. We had a well-known person in the community pass away at 53. 53. My dad's 53. He might be 52, honestly. I always lose track. Still, early 50s, passed away of a heart attack out of nowhere, and I think that's the scariest thing, especially why they call heart attacks like silent killers, is that they can quickly be reversed, and you can, if you get the right help at the right time. But a lot of people will dismiss these pains, right? And so I take it, I give it to you this week. Please go look up early signs of heart attack and stroke. Okay? Look them up, not just for you, but for your family. And give your family a little 411. And let's do a little recap. Fucking ask ChatGPT, hey, can you give me some early signs and symptoms of heart attack and stroke to tell my parents about? Because these are things that you can easily get to if you get them in time. And I think that's the most heartbreaking things about those type of catastrophic events, is that if you just act fast, you could, but a lot of people don't know what to look for. And so then they chalk it up to like chest pains or like, oh, I'm just like tired on one side of my body. Like, I don't know, but it's sad. So we lost someone this week that was just incredibly sad. And it was actually the dad of someone who I went to school with as a younger girl. And no matter what, anyone who loses a parent, you feel that, right? Like, we're supposed to lose our parents, and we will. But like, not at 30, not at 20, like, and I know some of you out there have, and it breaks my heart. Like, it feels so unfair. They're supposed to live till like 80 and 90 and 100. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like you're so robbed when you lose them before those quote old ages. And I think even if they're of age of being old, and you maybe find some form of peace knowing that they're passing, it still isn't fair. It's never fair. It's never the right time. There's never a right time. So I just encourage you guys, please take a little health moment and look up like I said, signs and symptoms of an early onset heart attack and stroke. These are things that you want to be aware of, okay? The second thing that happened in our community that just struck me so deeply, we had a young teen take his own life. And that hurts on a different level, because I know that there was a mom out there who woke up without her son today. And there's a dad out there who also woke up without his son. There's a grandparent out there who woke up without their grandchild. There's teammates that woke up without their teammate. There's classmates that woke up without him there. And it feels so unfair that, again, I use that word over and over, but like, death is unfair. And it feels unfair that you have to wake up and life just keeps going. And, the eerie parallel in this is that when the parent of the son supposedly had gotten home and discovered this horrific incident, it was about 1:00 in the afternoon, right? 1:00, I think mom got off work, headed home. During this period of time, my mom was passing this home to go to work. Obviously, you're not looking, like, she didn't know this home, right? She just coincidentally on her drive to work passes this home, didn't look at it. Like, you know what I mean? It's nothing that would stick out, but it's the fact that if you think back and you pass this random house, that this tragedy, this mom could have just been finding her son. It's like you never know what someone's going through, even in passing. And that part also struck me so deep, because it's so easy to compare. It's so easy to think you're going through the worst thing in life, which it's not about comparison, but it's just when you zoom out, it's like you just never know what someone's going through. And to just be heading to work and to think that you passed what possibly could have been this person's worst moment in their whole life. It's so, again, it's unfair. And so I just wanted to use that to just bring even more awareness to you guys that I know life can be so hard. And again, it's not about who has the worst trauma. Hard is hard. Hard is relative. Okay? I could deal with hard things. You could deal with hard things, and they'd be completely different hard things. But you matter. I matter. Nothing ever is so bad that you should choose to take your life. It's just not. You have someone out there that loves you, or so many people out there that love you. The way that it affects you and everyone else around you, and like they say that suicide is the most selfish act possible, right? And if you know someone who has committed this unaliving, this isn't to take away from what you had gone through. This isn't to say, oh, they're selfish. That's not how it is. It's just when you personally make that decision, that quote selfish decision to end your own life, the way that it affects everyone else is so much deeper. And this poor child, he was 17. He didn't understand. He didn't understand the complexity of what he was doing. He might have not even comprehended that he was going to make that decision, right? Like that could have just been a bad day and he had no one else to talk him out of it, or whatever it might have been. Could it have also been a buildup over months? I don't know. And I think that's the hardest part about suicide too, is there's never answers. And I'm just so hurt for this family and our community and the school system and in everything. It is just so terrible. And now in this case, I think it's also a great point to, number one, remember to just keep communication open. Please go talk to someone. I know I promote BetterHelp every week, and sometimes I'm like, oh, BetterHelp's stupid, blah, blah, blah. But if that's the only resource you have, and you're going through something so deep right now, use it for the month. Like, just even give it a month. Give it 4 sessions to talk to someone that could genuinely change an outlook that you have. Nonetheless, sometimes just getting it off your chest, getting something off your chest. So please just choose to get help. You know what I mean? Not make a irreversible decision. And it's also a good point to remind you guys too of proper gun safety and storage, hazardous storage as well, even medications, etc. Anything that children could get into, anything that teenagers could get into, that could lead to something like this versus, again, like a conversation. It takes that one time to be like, oh my gosh, the gun was unlocked. I mean, we've heard of it before, even in the news, of siblings accidentally shooting their younger siblings. Like it not even in a negative way. They just did it. They were playing, like they were playing cowboys, like whatever. This has also been modeled in like movies and TV shows, but it's not real. Like, it sounds far-fetched. Like, why the fuck would a kid shoot another kid? It happens. And it's not even just about your house. It's where you're sending your kids. Make sure shit is locked up. Like, it just goes so deep. Okay. And so I'm so sorry to bring down like the mood and the energy of this podcast before we kind of bring it back up. But I just did want to pay some respect to those 2 people that have lost their life this week, and that their loved ones are struggling and suffering and sad. And it just feels right. And I'm just going to take a moment of silence even for them, because I think that that's deserved in any community, and especially it's my community. But also, it's important to just recognize the souls that have left this earth. So I'm going to take a moment of silence here. You don't have to with me. Just go take a sip of water. I don't give a fuck what you want to do. I just kind of want to take a deep breath. All right, sorry, that was like longer than a second, but I just kind of needed that. When you hear of these type of things, it makes you, it can lead to your own intrusive thoughts, and you can spiral a little bit. And I think that's natural and it's human. Just so important to pull yourself back out of that and understand. And even what I like to say out loud, I am here, I am alive, I am well. My family is well. We have a roof over our head. I have a job that I love. My family is safe. my family is healthy. That is all I can control in the now. And that is the reality, right? So yeah, let's just, take those few little topics and just revisit them this week. That's all I'm asking you. Because if that one conversation could change a life, then I'm going to talk about it, So anyways, let's see. Okay, we're 20 minutes in and we're depressed. This is honestly going great so far, okay? I'm sorry that I have to bring up those type of things sometimes, but it was just really heavy on my heart and in my mind today, and it's always worth speaking about, even if it's uncomfortable. It's kind of like going in and like getting life insurance. If you guys have ever done that, that is the most uncomfortable situation to be sitting in, and it's not enjoyable at all. But you know what? It's important to have those conversations, and sometimes being uncomfortable is more important than not. Okay. So any recaps this week? Let's see. We got the new Paragon came out on Friday. We have a new Buff Bunny announcement. Let's see, it's the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, tomorrow, I believe. And yeah, Mother's Day is today. Wait, what fucking week is it? Okay, yeah, I'm right. Okay, yeah. Okay, we have Buff Bunny collection. Yep. The only thing I just fucked up on and just realized is that it's I don't think it's Mother's Day. Let's see. It's not Mother's Day. There's nothing like important, but I will say we have one more final day of the Petula biannual sale. This is the time to grab quite literally anything. Okay, Petula is great for easy gifts, great for you to try a piece of clothing that maybe you're like, I don't know if it's like would be worth it or if I'd like it. And then boom, you end up liking it. So then when it comes out again, you can purchase it and not feel bad for purchasing it full price. So that's kind of all on the list for housekeeping stuff. Now, in terms of like watches of the week, etc., I have not, as of now, when I'm recording, I haven't caught up on Handmaid's Tale yet. We have been so deep watching the PITT, which I talked about last week. Like, I am so obsessed. We are on, I think, episode 11, and there's 14, so we have 3 more episodes left. One of the best shows I've watched in a long time. Like, and let me tell you, I watch a lot of good TV, but specifically, I guess maybe in the type of style that they're shooting and the type of drama that it is, it's the best ever. Like, I'm literally obsessed. Dr. Robby is from the original show of ER. Like, this, he's like low-key so hot. Like, he's so hot. Like, and honestly, like, as a doctor in the show, he's kind of painted to be like this, like, really washed up, stressed out guy, but like he still looks hot. Like, I don't know. It's crazy to me. Does anyone else agree? Like, you know what I mean? Please, someone help. Okay. But yeah, watches, Handmaid's Tale, TBD. I don't know what else we really have coming up. The Last of Us ended up being a pretty good episode. Episode 3, we have Dina and we have Ellie going off on their own adventure. Kind of weird though, because Dina and Ellie totally like made out like hardcore. And for a second I was like, okay, like is Dina like bisexual? Is she interested in Ellie? Is she not? And then we see this scene in the tent where they're both like kind of laying by each other and about to go to bed. And then Dina asks like, was the kiss good? And then she said that she already went back to her ex after. So it was like, okay, she kind of just like used Ellie, which also makes Ellie kind of feel like crap because she was maybe hopefully thinking that finally like someone else was gay like her. And she's not. Does this change? I don't know. But it did kind of make me sad because I think it made Ellie a little bit hopeful. And now she's back to being just like the lone lesbian. Like, Dina, you're a dick, okay? Like, hello, girl. Like, don't mess with the lesbian's feelings. Thank you so much. Bye. Now, with that being said, not a lot of other, TV stuff, but I did want to go through a little bit of Am I the Asshole submissions, which I absolutely love to do, and also answer a few questions that I have. So let's dive into it. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. I talk about BetterHelp a lot, seeing as that it's benefited me in the past 2 years. Some people think, maybe, things have to get really bad until you can go to therapy. You're like, I'm not depressed. Why do I need therapy? But really, therapy is a tool to where you're using it before things were to get worse and to avoid being at your lowest low.
I don't know about you, but why the fuck would you want to get to your lowest low before you climb out to the top again, right? BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video and even live chat sessions with your therapist. You don't have to see anyone on your camera. You don't have to wear pants. You don't even have to put on pajamas. You could be naked wherever you're at and do a therapy session with your therapist. So for me personally, I like to put my AirPods in. I'll walk around my desk room. I'll go for a walk outside when it's nice out, whatever it may be. And that's what works for me. It is customizable and it is more affordable than most in-person therapy. Give it a try. See why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp online therapy. And girls, don't forget to get on BetterHelp.com/DESB and put in that discount code. If you forget that, you do not get that 10% off your first month. And that is the deal with being a listener of Brunch with DESB.
So I just put up this question box on my story, like literally 10 minutes ago. So I don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of questions that I was like planning on being able to answer. So I apologize for that. That was poor timing on my part. I ended up being able to record a little bit earlier than I thought. So a question that I have, okay, did you get a new engagement ring and wedding band? Great question. No, I didn't. This one right here you see is from Amazon. This is the only one I can really wear during, number one, this is the one I take when I travel. I do not travel with my real ring or wedding band. I get way too anxious that I'm going to leave it on like a hotel counter, or it's going to fall down a sink, or it's going to get lost, for example, in Atlantis, like in the sand. I just get nervous, or like if my diamond pops out, I don't know, I get intrusive thoughts. This ring is from fucking Amazon, girls. Okay, it's fake. But I don't take it off when I work out. So I work out like in an actual band and ring, and I don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm messing up my personal band, stuff like that. It's just like, it's a throwaway ring anyway. So no, I did not. It's worth having a fake one. It's all I'm telling you. Postpartum anxiety plus having a toddler. How did you go? Oh, did you go through it? Struggling to get out and not isolate myself. Absolutely. Postpartum anxiety was so difficult, especially at the time with Maddox when I had it, I think the worst, especially during COVID. Just like constantly thinking about when you were going to like, if you're going to get sick, or what happens if like your baby, like Maddox was a preemie. So like, what if he gets RSV? What if he dies? Like, it sounds terrible, but I just, all my intrusive thoughts were crazy. What if I get in a car accident? What if it was so debilitating? I, number one, asked for help. Like, I went to therapy. I talked about it. Even just getting these thoughts out of my head and saying them out loud allowed me to almost relinquish them. And then when it came to everything else, I think, again, I just really rely on so heavily, like, we are in control of what we are in control of. Some things are going to be uncontrollable. And I believe in everything happening for a reason, happening for us. The universe knows, like, we are on our own path. Granted, we make our own decisions, but they do determine outcomes. So, like, I do believe that everything that happens for you. I really do. And so if something were to happen to me tomorrow, like, I knew that's meant to be a part of my journey. So I try not to think about, oh, well, if I just do nothing, I'll avoid everything. It's like, what's meant to happen will happen. It will find me. And so I try not to live in that fear, especially like even anxiety postpartum doesn't even have to do with like getting out of the house with my baby. It's even just like leaving without. Like, whenever I am on a plane by myself and not my kids, or like, I leave, or I'm going to like a Kesha concert in July, and I am already getting anxiety about like, what if people try to like come and like do something bad. That's all I'm going to say, right? It's like, I try so hard to not live with that, because that's postpartum anxiety too. Like, it lives, or even just anxiety, period. That's kid anxiety. It's like leaving your kid even and feeling like something's going to happen to you. But the best thing I can do is, like I said, I just try to like continue to remain calm in the fact that like my life is already predetermined. You're right. So somewhat, right? You make your own decisions, but it does determine outcomes, and that what's meant to be will be. And so I just need to enjoy my life, and I can't control what might happen. I just have to go through life. Need community help for finding swimsuit top for us small booby girlies. So if you guys have small boobs, my boobs were smaller, I lived in bandeau tops. I thought that they were so cute. You didn't need a lot of support to hold them up. Like they give you such a like cute, like sexy, athletic look. So any bandeau top is on it for me. Outside of that, personally, like guys, stay away from the triangle tops. I'm sorry, if you don't have tits already, don't do a triangle top, okay? Do like more of like a little like mini plunge, like a sweetheart neckline. You can do kind of like a bandeau with like a loop around, what do you call that? Like a halter. There we go, sorry. Find a neckline in like a suit top that's suitable for you, no pun intended. Stop trying to pull off things that literally only big boobied girl can. Sorry, like just don't do it. Can I get your favorite skincare products for large pores and skin texture? For real, niacinamide and salicylic acid. And vitamin C. Those are all things that are going to help diminish the look of pores, but especially niacinamide and salicylic acid. I love Paula's Choice BHA. It's a gray bottle, 2% BHA. You literally cannot miss it. It's so good. Paula's Choice. Vitamin C, probably one of my favorite vitamin C drops are actually from La Roche-Posay. You can find those at Target. And my favorite niacinamide is probably also from Paula's Choice, or Peter Thomas Roth has a good niacinamide mixed as well. Is it possible to develop defined legs without a history of sports like yourself? It's a give or take, okay? I think when it comes to, quote, defined legs, it also comes down to where you tend to store body fat. And some people will naturally have more body fat stored in their legs. Now, over like years and years of power sports on top of like dieting and then like recomping, dieting, recomping, that's how my legs have gotten to like, where they're at now. But a lot of it comes from the power sports. It's really hard to get defined legs and quads and stuff like that without doing like athletic activity. The only thing closest, unless you're like on a volleyball league every week or like doing like sports now, would probably be to practice things like sprints, that quick, fast twitch muscle. I swear that is why my ass is growing right now, is from sprints, like for real. Everyone talks about the glutes that you can build from glute bridges, like totally. But the glute mass that you can build from sprints and doing sprints correctly, or riding a bike, doing biking correctly, goes off. It really does. What's a non-negotiable for date nights? So sadly, we don't do a ton of date nights, honestly. It's really hard with 3 kids, and it's hard to find someone that wants to watch 3 kids, to be honest. So a lot of our date nights end up being kind of like in the home when the kids are asleep and we just like watch a TV show or something. If we do go out on a date though, honestly, non-negotiable are like phones down at dinner, obviously, right? This is our time to actually connect. And we really do try to like refrain from bringing up the kids or talking about work. Because we can do that at any point. So we try to just like make up conversations. I've been really wanting to get like those like conversation cards that you can take to date night too. I think those would be fun too. But for us, it's just like definitely phones down, enjoying the night, like getting away, locking eyes, which also sounds stupid, but like look at each other for real. What part of your get ready routine makes you feel the sexiest? Probably my mascara and my eyeliner that I've been doing. It's just been so good. It's been hitting right. And when I put that like last final touch on, 'cause it's like the last thing I do, it just brings it all together. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not that ugly. You know what? I'm not ugly. And last one, hot take. The loose Bermuda jean short trend is horrible. I do have a pair of like looser Bermuda, kind of like I got them from Free People. They're actually called the Montana short. And I linked them while I was on vacation because I'm telling you, these are the most comfortable shorts ever. Here's the thing. I don't think it's a hot take to say that they're terrible. But it does take a specific type of look to pull them off. Like you got to have the right sneaker. You got to have the right, like maybe it's an oversized tee or a tank top or a sweatshirt. Like you got to have the right look to pull them off, because I'm telling you, like with all due respect, when I wore mine, I was like, this is like cool girl. Like this is like sick, So I wore them with like my Puma shoes and then a really tight top. Because again, you never really want to go loose plus loose. If you're doing something loose, you always want to do a tighter top. typically, right? So I did like my Free People Happiness Runs crop with the shorts, and then I wore the shorts with like a really cool sneaker, and with like a nice bag. It looked sick. That is a look, okay? Something else while we're talking about fashion that I recently learned is called the sandwich method. And it's all about having the same colored shoes as your top and then mixing whatever color you want in the middle. So for example, this girl who was talking about it, she was wearing a gray cute top, like a black or like blue skirt, and then like gray sneakers. And it said like point of view, the sandwich method never flops or something. And so then I was reading the comments and what the girl said. So if you ever want to try to go for something super spunky and super cool, try to always make sure that your top at least matches your shoes. And then anything in between is kind of like free game from what I understand. So the more you know, fashion with DESB. Okay. Here's a few. Am I the asshole for refusing to change someone's baby's diaper? My wife and I have been married 10 years and have a few kids. Sister-in-law and her husband had a baby 2 years ago. No major complaints. They just tend to ask people to do stuff that I would think they do themselves. They come over to the house. They live an hour away. They ask ahead of time if our kids have crackers on hand. Why don't they just pack their own? I don't know. If one of them leaves the room, they'll ask one of us to, quote, be in charge of the baby, even if another parent is right there just scrolling their phone or something. Whenever I say something to my wife, she says I'm being too much. The other day, we're having dinner at my mother-in-law's house when the baby had a poopy diaper. My sister-in-law looks at me in the sweetest voice and says, Uncle, my name, can you change the diaper? I answered politely, no, I'm sorry, I don't do that. You don't do diapers? No, I don't do other people's kids' diapers if their mom or dad is around. I mean, if I'm babysitting, sure, yeah, but if the parent's around, I feel like it's their job. Sister-in-law looks at me like she's ready to cry. Well, I feel selfish. I smiled and tried to set her at ease. No, not trying to make you feel any way, just telling you a boundary is all. The table got really awkward as she got up and did the diaper. Afterwards, my wife blamed me for making my sister-in-law feel bad when I could have just changed the diaper. Not trying to make anyone feel bad, but I have 3 kids and I always took the responsibility. I watched them, packed for them, changed them. I'm not looking to be a secondary parent for this kid. Someone says, not the asshole. Your sister-in-law only felt bad because the obvious was pointed out to her. You said no when she asked you, she pressed you further, tried to guilt you into it, and because you didn't want to change a poopy diaper. Other people are agreeing, like it's worth mentioning that it's a whole 2-year-old's diaper, by the way, like eating food. So it's not like a baby from what I understand. Also, I would totally agree. I think there comes a point where so sometimes my sister comes over and she's like holding Evie or something, or I'm doing something and she will voluntarily change the diaper, or, I'll be like, hey, can you just grab that? Like, again, I am actively doing something else for other kids or even for her own kids, right? So she will voluntarily do that for me. That's me sister to sister. Okay. That's not Wyatt. Like, that's not me asking her husband to do it, right? That's like me being like, hey, her husband, can you change Evie's diaper? Like, no. So, I mean, sister to sister, that's what I'm here to, that's what we're here to help out for. I would never expect anyone else to do that, especially when it comes to the male role. Okay? Like, no offense. I don't think that that's an asshole at all. Okay? Am I the asshole for my sick husband having to clean up his own vomit? My husband has been dealing with a stomach bug kind of the last few days, vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, etc. I've been taking care of him in the house and the kids by myself for all of it, which is a lot of work with 2 under 5. This morning, my husband wanted to try to eat something, so I made him toast as requested. As he was on the couch nibbling on his breakfast, I was making our toddlers their breakfast and feeding them when I heard violent gagging in the other room. He'd been hanging out in the living room during his entire illness, so he had the trash can in there he had to puke, or if he had to puke or whatever. I called him out to remember to use it or go to the bathroom if he thought it was vomit. He didn't listen and threw up all over the floor and got some on the couch. My husband comes in where I'm feeding our kids and says he's going to go to our room so I can clean up the puke. I said absolutely not. There was no reason for him to vomit all over the floor, so he needed to take care of it. I had been cleaning up all weekend already without complaining when he was sick by surprise, but he had plenty of time to prepare for this and not make a mess. My husband is now mad at me for not showing him a good bedside manner. So am I the asshole? Someone said you had to remind him not to vomit in the bin or the bathroom, ? Someone said, sounds like you actually have 3 under 5. There is literally no excuse for a grown-ass man to vomit on the floor during an illness. You learn this when you're like 7 if you have a barf bucket. So again, most of the people are saying not the asshole. I would definitely agree. Yeah, especially if you already had him set up. Like, hey, I have this set up for you. I want to make sure that you feel comfortable. Don't, throw up in the bucket. Like, you already had that planned out. So, like, yeah, he can fucking clean it up himself, all right? Am I the asshole for ruining, quote, my boyfriend's birthday dinner by bringing my own food? I'm 28 years old, and I've been with my boyfriend for over a year. I have several food allergies, gluten, dairy, and shellfish. My boyfriend's family invited me for a big homemade dinner. I told his mom ahead of time that I have allergies. They already know this, but I reminded them because I've had a couple of incidents with them because of this. And she said, don't worry, we'll have something for you. When I got there, everything had at least one ingredient that I couldn't eat. I didn't want to make a fuss or go hungry, so I discreetly pulled out a Tupperware meal that I made at home and started eating it. My boyfriend's mom looked offended and said I was being disrespectful and that I didn't trust her cooking. Later, my boyfriend told me I embarrassed him and I should have, quote, eaten around the allergens to keep the peace. Easily not the asshole. Someone said they're, quote, offended that you're not giving yourself allergic reactions. Your boyfriend is a dick and a massive one for suggesting you physically suffer for his family's approval. I would definitely agree. I think it's one thing. It can be a little bit of an asshole situation if like you're simply just like dieting and you're like, oh, sorry, I can't eat that. Like, again, and this comes from me being a coach, one meal isn't going to hurt you. Okay. It's important to like still enjoy those memories. But in this case, if we're going around like allergies and stuff, bye. Like, no, just pull out your Tupperware. Okay. Last one. Am I the asshole for letting my sister hold my baby against our mother's wishes? I'm 29 and I have a newborn baby. My 9-year-old sister, whom we'll call Kylie for privacy purposes, has been so excited to be an aunt for the first time. Kylie has a physical disability. She struggles with fine motor tasks, but has a slight tremor in her hands when holding objects. Because of this, our mother stated that she did not want Kylie to hold the baby, ever. She kept saying how Kay's hands can't be trusted and that it would be best if she just looked at the baby. But Kay was so excited to meet her new niece that I decided it was worth trying. With some assistance from me, she was able to hold her without issue. When our mother saw it happening, she was not happy. She said it was irresponsible of me and repeated that Kylie's hands can't be trusted around the baby. She started talking about how she says no as a parent, and I needed to respect that. Am I the asshole for letting my sister hold the baby without my mom's consent? Not the asshole. It's your baby. You decide who holds your baby. It's not your mother's. If you trust your sister to be physically capable or have to have Kylie sit down and maybe have a sling on or something, that's your call. I would definitely agree. I can understand her maybe trying to pull the card of like, well, I'm her mom. In this case, I'm her mom saying no. Now, quote, daughter, you're a mom. You need to respect other moms saying no too. But again, that's her sister. And if she feels comfortable, that's her putting, I would say, quote, her own baby at risk. But even in this case, it doesn't sound like she was putting her at risk at all. She was all good with it. So, okay. I want to do more. I really do. But I could do these for forever. So let's plan to do these in another episode up and coming. Do a few more. And especially, I want to do some where I can look at the person and say, you're an asshole. Okay. All of the ones I read, coincidentally, were like, yeah, no, of course you're not the asshole. But they were good storytelling. Okay. Happy Sunday. Please do what I told you earlier. Okay. Go look up some like warning signs of early onset heart attacks and strokes. Please lock up your guns. Please lock up anything that could be of harm to children, adolescents, teens, people without a prefrontal cortex. Okay. I love you guys. Have a beautiful Sunday. We will talk next week. Let's celebrate Mama's Day and we'll chat then.